Call our meeting to order and begin with the superintendent's report.
Well, thank you, Skip, and good evening to all our visitors and also our community members that are watching the meeting tonight on the live stream. Just want to take a moment to wish all of you peace and happiness this holiday season. I hope you and your families have a wonderful holiday break. Also like to take a moment to thank all of our dedicated VCS employees, which we're fortunate to have many here tonight, for their hard work and commitment to our precious students. Thank you so much for all that you do. I know you're ready for break and well-deserved, so I hope you have a great break as well. December board meeting, one of our favorites, and we're going to kick it off tonight. I'm going to turn it over to the talented Mr. Morris, our choir director.
This is most of the members of Chamber Singers tonight, and we have 3 songs that we would love to sing for you. Thank you for inviting us and for letting us come and share a little holiday cheer. This first song is the pentatonics arrangement of White Winter Hymnal. It's not specifically a Christmas carol, but it does mention snow, so that counts, right? Traditional. This is the Austrian carol, Still, Still, Still.
One can hear
Holly Jolly. Now, I'd just like to say one short thing. First of all, I'd like to thank the board and our administrators and our community for the strong and never-ceasing support for the arts. Yes. I think Vicksburg knows that one of the strengths that we have here is the variety of programs that we offer and the many, many, many different arts classes. And I'm thankful for that. I've been thankful for that every year of my 16 years here at Vicksburg. So thank you for your support to the school board and to the admin team and to the community. So speaking of support, so a couple weeks ago, you all know we had kind of a tough Friday, you know? So Mr. Brush was here for this. He knows what I'm about to say. And we were running around. We were supposed to take my men's chorus and the treble choir, and we were supposed to go to the library and sing for the Ladies' Library Auxiliary there in the basement of the Vicksburg Library. And I was kind of wondering, wow, can I still make this thing happen? Is this going to work? And while I was sorting out details and my students were patiently waiting for me to get my act together, treble choir is working on an arrangement of Silent Night. And spontaneously, I don't know who started it, they just started singing Silent Night. And it made me think, you know, it kind of just made me pause and say to myself, oh yeah, that's why I'm here. That's why we are here. And Mr. Brush came in, and of course he was having a crazy day. And I said, Mr. Brush, give us 1 minute. We're going to sing you one verse. And they sang Silent Night for him, and it was just it was a moment of comfort. It was a moment of peace. And it was just a perfect example of what our students can do with music. So thank you for listening to that story, and thank you for your, like I said, unending support for the arts. And in times of trouble, sometimes we see how valuable that really is. So, thanks for listening to me. One last song. This is Holly Jolly.
Holly jolly, holly, holly jolly, whoa. Holly jolly, holly, holly jolly, whoa. Holly jolly, holly, holly jolly, whoa. Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer. Have a holly jolly Christmas. And when you walk down the street, say hello to friends you know and everyone you meet. Oh, the mistletoe hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you, kiss her once for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and in case you didn't hear, oh by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas. Christmas, this year, holly jolly, holly, holly jolly, whoa. Holly jolly, holly, holly jolly, whoa. Holly jolly, holly, holly jolly, whoa. Oh, the mistletoe hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you, kiss her once for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and in case you didn't hear, oh by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas. Christmas.
kind of project.
Okay. Hi, I'm Faith Smith. I'm in 11th grade. I'm Stella Rittenauer. I'm in 10th grade.
I'm Rodrigo Castro, and I'm a senior.
I'm Morgan Wood, and I'm a junior.
I'm Emily Crawford, and I'm a senior. I'm Michaela Matthews, and I'm also a senior.
Hello, I'm Chloe Johnson. I am also a senior.
I'm Kenny Tark, and I am also a senior.
I'm Caleb Johnson, and I'm also a senior.
I'm Tyler Richardson, and I'm a sophomore.
Thank you and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
You're going to make the plug, aren't you?
Mr. Morris?
Yes, thank you.
Where is that shameless plug?
Yeah, shameless plug. Tomorrow night, here at 7 o'clock, you can come see the middle school choirs perform. Wednesday, you can see the middle school bands perform at 7 o'clock here. And Thursday, you can see both the high school choirs and the high school bands here in our collage concert, 7 p.m. Thursday night. That's kind of the big shindig. And we are doing reserved seating, but the seats are $0. So get them at the box office or get online at the PAC link and get your tickets. Thank you for reminding me.
It's no problem. I told you I was going to make a shameless plug too if I needed to. I just want to thank you guys for being here. And I want to tell you, you guys have a gift, and I think you all know that, but you can make music with your voices. And that is a gift we don't all have, and treasure it. And it wouldn't have been Christmas without Holly Jolly.
I'd like to, if I can make a little quick plug too. Mr. Morris and his singers were around the village almost all day on Saturday singing at the different venues, and that was wonderful.
Thank you.
So proud of our arts.
Yeah, well, a bunch of these kids, not only did they carol, but then they ran back to the school to get in their marching uniforms and march.
Yes.
Then they ran back to the tree lighting ceremony and sang again.
Wow.
Thank you, everyone. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, they were around singing all day. They were all the different venues.
Love when they do that.
That was very nice.
Okay, another fantastic holiday tradition is the introduction of our new staff by our building principals. So I'm going to start with Mr. Brush and the new high school staff.
Every year you make me go after chamber singers, and so it's always tough. To
Planned,
compete.
Adam.
I know, it's always tough to compete with that.
sing it.
No one wants any of that. So I'm fortunate enough, we had 7 new hires at the high school this spring, which is the most that I can remember since I've been here for 12 years. And the first one we got to hire that was outside the district was Mr. Latham. So Les Latham teaches physics and AP physics, graduated from Michigan Tech, and you'll probably see him riding his bike to school. How far of a bike ride is it from your house to school?
21 miles.
21
One way or both
miles.
ways?
Wow.
No, 21 miles. So give him some space. If you see him on W, make sure you're 8 feet out. You also taught in Africa for 6 years. What did you like best about that?
The schools were school for missionary kids, and it was just, the one school was a boarding school, so you never had to worry about attendance, because if they weren't there, you knew where you could find them. Yeah, it was a good experience. My kids really enjoyed it, and I think they grew from it, so.
Yeah, Les is joined here with his wife, Jill. They have 3 sons, Ben, Joshua, and Jeremy. You want to say hello to everyone? Les, what do you like best about being at Vicksburg High School?
There's a lot of great things. I mean, the staff and, I like the administration. But honestly, the all physics is like, that's my, just to be at a place where I can just teach physics all day is incredible. I love it.
The kids love Mr. Latham as well. Mr. Latham, new physics teacher, VHS. So it's like a week before school starts, and our science teacher resigned. And we were so lucky we got to meet Mr. Kangas when he was interviewing for physics. And you got to work with Mr. Hawkins before, and he came back. So I think that's a win right there. So this is Rajan Kangas. He teaches biology and astronomy at Vicksburg High School, graduate from Michigan Tech as well. Yeah. What did you like? He also taught in the UP. So what was your favorite thing about teaching in the UP, or what was the most challenging thing?
So my first teaching job was in Watersmeet, Michigan, which had a blinking light, and that's about it, between 45 and 2. My first graduating class had 9 kids in it, and I taught 8 preps, 8 science preps. I was the science department, so it's nice to come to Vicksburg here, and hopefully this is my hat hanger, as Mr. Hawkins calls it.
Now, Rajan has his wife here, Nicole. He also has 3 children, Isabella, Cecilia, and Elizabeth. Now, Rajan, what do you like best about teaching at VHS?
Definitely the kids. I had 2 of the kids up on stage in my astronomy class, and just seeing them come in every day and see them as growing adults, not just like, they're in my astronomy class. Seeing them come in from freshmen, which I'm also freshman, partnering with Ms. Coe, and working with AIM students like with Ms. King, just the well-rounded students that we have here at Vicksburg High School.
Awesome, thank you. We're so lucky to have you, Mr. Kangas. So like I said, it was a week before school started, and we hired Mr. Kangas, and then as school started, we had an opening for Spanish, and that really was, I was like, I thought hiring was done. The school year has started. We got so lucky to have Miss Howard apply, and she has plenty of experience, and she's also a Laker, which is huge, so go Lakers. There we go. So what do you it's a challenging teaching during a pandemic. You have a young family. What adds more stress, like right at the beginning of the school year? What did you guys decide to do right when school started?
We decided to move.
Right during school. So I was just like, holy cow, you guys are just bringing a lot on. What do you like best about VHS?
I love the team here at VHS. I feel very supported by all of the administration and my team in the Spanish department, and everybody in the 400 hall, and everybody else in the building has been really supportive of this transition, because coming in a week after school started, after already starting at another position, was very stressful on top of moving, and I'm really grateful to have all of the support. And being only 10 minutes away with small children has really allowed me to give the time I need to students after school and still get home to get my kids off the bus. And that is a gift that you just can't give up.
Yeah, Ms. Howard has a husband, Tyler, and then she has 3 children as well, Lydia, Harvey, and Clark. So she was making that commute to Battle Creek, and now she makes the commute to Vicksburg, which is fantastic. So thank you, Ms. Howard. Thank you, all 3 Vicksburg High School teachers. You make it a joy to have new people and have done it before. It is just awesome, and they fit in with the VHS family, as I know Lisa and Rachel would admit to as well.
Well, thank you, Mr. Brush. Probably the busiest spring and summer belonged to Mr. Van Duzen with lots and lots of new hires, and we're looking forward to meeting them all tonight. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Van Duzen at the middle school.
Yeah, that definitely was a very busy summer. So we had 8 new hires to do. So it was a lot of committees, a lot of interviews. I think I was dreaming about interview questions and what I was going to say. But I couldn't be more pleased with the people that we've been able to hire. I feel like it is just a tremendous group of teachers. And I really feel fortunate because we all hear in the state of education how difficult it is to find teachers right now. And so when I look at this group of 8 people, I couldn't be more thrilled. Vicksburg is very fortunate and lucky to have all of them with us. So I'm going to start with Shannon Valier, and she is one of our art teachers. She teaches 6th through 8th grade art, or 7th and 8th. 6th through 8th, yeah, 6th through 8th. I was thinking of Tony Lindemann there for some of those 6th grade classes. So she started her career as a part-time art teacher at Colon Community Schools. She was there for 13 years, and then was at Constantine Public Schools for 2 years, and then 2 years at Galesburg Augusta. So what's nice about the group that we've got some that came with a lot of experience and some that were just fresh out of college, so it was a great mix too. Shannon has done a wonderful job for us already this year. But Shannon, and you can speak to the board, what do you like best about Vicksburg Community Schools?
What I love best about Vicksburg Community Schools is the professional support that I have been given to come in. And also, I love my students, and I truly love teaching my passion for art. Love it, love it, love it.
And she definitely shows that passion in the classroom. So kids love her. It's great. All right, the next one, we have Cheyenne Payne. She is a 6th through 8th grade special education teacher. Adam, you'll like this. She was a graduate of Grand Valley State University. So, yeah, there we go. Harvard of the Midwest, that's what you always say, right? All right, so Cheyenne, what do you like best about Vicksburg Community Schools?
I absolutely love my students, and I have been extremely grateful for the amount of support I've received from staff, other teachers, parents. It's all over, and I'm extremely grateful for that, for this being my first year. So that on top of going to Grand Valley for my master's as well. So yes, it's been a great first year.
Yeah, we were stressing out quite a bit because the special ed positions are tough to fill. I don't know if you look at the job ads, but there are a ton out there for special ed teachers, and I couldn't be more thrilled, Cheyenne, that you joined us at the middle school. Just top notch, so very thrilled. Okay, the next one is Jennifer Koning, and Jennifer took a different route to us. She is a 6th grade math teacher as well as an accelerated algebra math teacher. And she has come to us through the teacher re-entry program, and maybe she'll speak a little bit to that. But she did start her career at Battle Creek High School, and I believe you ran into Gail Van Daff. You guys did a little bit of teaching together. So, yes, sorry. And sorry, Gail. Yeah, so Jennifer, talk what you like best about Vicksburg Community Schools, but also mention about the teacher reentry program.
Thank you. I'm not used to being called by my real name here. I go by Jen. But no, I started teaching in Battle Creek Central High School fresh out of college, and I co-taught with Gail in a math class at Central. And I loved it, went home, got married, got pregnant, stayed home, and put in my resignation because I couldn't give up my baby. And I started teaching area homeschoolers for a while, and then I ended up doing odd and end jobs and disliked my job that I was at, and someone said, well, why don't you go into teaching? And I'm like, I can't, my certificate's expired. And they're just like, but Michigan's doing this Welcome Back Michigan Educator campaign. And I'm like, well, okay, I'll see if I qualify. And I qualified, and when I was offered a job at the middle school, the state of Michigan just gave me my credentials to get my certificate recertified. And so I was given this amazing gift to be able to return to teaching. I'm very passionate about math, and I have a couple of my students over there. But I love math, and I love bringing fun into the classroom. I love to teach algebra. It is my favorite, and it's one of the reasons why I thought that this job was a perfect fit for me, because I have 3 sections of advanced algebra that I teach to 8th graders, and I love it. So thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this school district. I am very much happy here.
Well, the gift was definitely for us. So you came at the right time, and we're glad to have you. All right, next up is Ashley Mann. Ashley she's got 3 different jobs here at the middle school. So she teaches 6th grade math, 7th grade math, and she is a 6th through 8th grade ELO math teacher. ELO, Extended Learning Opportunity, so intervention classes. She started her career at Marcellus Community Schools, also taught summer school as a math interventionist through the Van Buren ISD. And Ashley, tell us what you like best about Vicksburg schools.
I think my favorite thing here at Vicksburg is being able to teach what I love, just like Jen said. I love being able to help my students every day. Teaching ELO is something that I'm really passionate about. So being able to help my students every day and see them grow every day is amazing for me. So being with those students every day, getting the support every day from my staff, and working with my other ELO teachers is amazing for me every day. So I think definitely that is my favorite part about Vicksburg Community Schools.
All right, the next person probably needs no introduction and is probably the most comfortable person here with a mic in her hands. Melissa Sparks, if you could stand up, please. Melissa is an 8th grade English teacher and also teaches 6th through 8th grade reading ELO. She is a graduate of Western, was a part-time instructor there, and an arts teacher with Education for Arts throughout Kalamazoo County Schools, and also has been the theater director for the last 16 years here at Vicksburg. So we were very fortunate to add her to our staff, and you're used to addressing people, so I'm going to give you the mic. Just try to keep it to a minute, okay?
Okay, so Dusty definitely didn't keep it to a minute. You mean, no, I'm just kidding. So for me, it feels like I'm finally home. It's so great to be here. I was actually sharing a story with one of the school board members before. My family had a cottage in Vicksburg, and so I spent my summers up here. I'm from the Detroit side, and I remember going as a little 2nd grader to the Vicksburg Library and purchasing Shakespeare's sonnets. And that's what got me hooked into theater and into teaching. Like, I assigned Shakespeare sonnets to my stuffed animals. I still have the book. I'm pretty nerdy like that. So it feels full circle to be back here where it all began. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Nice job. All right, our next one is Sarah Geist. Sarah is a 7th grade English teacher, and she is a graduate of Michigan State University, so this is her first job. I was sweating it pretty good over the summer because she had multiple offers, and I tried not to hassle her too much to accept ours. So I must have played my cards just right. So anyway, she joined us. Very thrilled to have her as part of the middle school. But Sarah, talk about what Vicksburg Community Schools means to you.
Well, like I said, had a bunch of job offers, and I interviewed at a bunch of different places, and I didn't actually think I would end up teaching middle school, but I walked out of my interview just feeling like I was best friends with everybody in that room, and I just felt so welcome. And when I said that I was gonna come, how excited you were, it just made me feel so welcome. And so I love all my coworkers and all my students and how loving everybody is.
Thank you very much. All right, next, second to last here, Liz Pierce. Liz Pierce, stand on up. She is our 6th and 7th grade science teacher. Started her career at Endeavor Charter Academy and spent the last 9 years teaching at Comstock Middle School. And we had the pleasure of interviewing Liz for a couple of different positions, and I knew the time was going to come when we could finally bring her over to the middle school, and that time was this summer, and I couldn't be more thrilled. So Liz, tell us what you like best about Vicksburg Community Schools.
Probably the community. I've been here for 13 plus years in the community. My son, my daughter graduated, my stepson, my stepdaughter graduated from Vicksburg. Just love the community. Love how many opportunities there are to have. I mean, you got the arts, you got bands, you got academics, sports, everything. And the community just comes out to support. It's amazing. And then I just also really like how Vicksburg always is just striving to be the best and always getting better, always improving, always looking out for the academics and the safety of our students, just always right there, number one, always striving to be the best.
Thank you. And she fits right in. I mean, she is such a hard worker and does a great job in the classroom. All right, last but certainly not least, and certainly not the shortest, Corey Hinga is our middle school behavior specialist. He started his career at the alternative middle high school at Portage Community High, and the last 8 years as a high school math teacher at Schoolcraft. Interesting note, he worked as a minor league umpire for how many years? 6 years, 6 years. He was on track to be a major league umpire, gave it all up in order to go into education. So, Corey, what do you like best about Vicksburg Community Schools?
Other than the fact that I just look really good in red and black. That was number one. It was kind of, between my old school, the colors weren't as good. So, I really enjoy, the community has been amazing, but just the staff I work with, the administration and the people that I've worked under this year. And for me, coming into a new position as a behavior specialist and what was a new position in this building, just being given the support to learn this and kind of learn everything that involved with this, but also just kind of the freedom to be able to make some decisions and do things on my own, and it's just been a really comfortable place to be.
Thank you, Corey. All right, that's it for the middle school, believe it or not.
Well, thank you, Matt. All right, next up, with quite a few hires this summer too, Amy McCaw, Sunset Lake Elementary.
Okay, yes, we have seven new for Sunset, but we have 6 with us tonight because one of our new hires, she actually was one of our virtual teachers, Kim Parsons, so I do want to recognize she's new to Sunset, but she's not with us because she was hired technically last year. I'm going to start down here. I guess we'll just start down here. Emma Kinn, would you please stand? Yeah, all right. Emma Kinn is a graduate from Western, and she knew since she was in kindergarten that she wanted to be a teacher. So a very big point of pride for her is she did it. She graduated last May, and she got a job right away. Her dad was an educator. In fact, when she was setting up her room, I came in, and her dad came up from Illinois, and they were setting up their library. So one of the things when I asked Emma about one of her favorite things, I'm just going to let her speak to it, but one of your favorite things that you've been for this year so far?
So what I told Amy, definitely the kids. It's a joy to watch them learn, grow, and become the best version of themselves every day. But also, I've loved the people that I work with. Like Amy said, my dad's an educator, and he said the most important part is finding your people. So I really feel like I found it here at Sunset.
Thank you. All right, next, we'll go down the line. Shayna Brooks is our new counselor. Kind of like some of the other fellow administrators, I was sweating this one because they're hard to find. And we really were able to, sorry, Three Rivers, grab Shayna and hire her at Sunset Lake. She is a Grand Valley State grad, but she also, she just finished her master's, and she's really proud of the project that she worked on. She studied the works of expulsions and suspensions and what kind of things that happen with those students that are at risk and what outcomes come from that. And so her studies that she did is something that I think all of us are going to learn from. And amazing, amazing work under such a lot of pressure these days with our counseling. So Shayna, you can share one of the things that you are loving about Vicksburg.
Yeah, so I actually have 3 things that I'm loving about Vicksburg. The first thing is just all of the community support. I'm just so impressed. Like, there's been so many times where I've needed something, and there's always someone in the community that I can call and ask for help. So that's just been amazing. I've also had a really good and positive experience with not only all of the students, but also all of their parents and the families. That's been a really positive experience. And then lastly, just because I also interned here at Toby and at the middle school, and throughout my internship, it was just really obvious that mental health and social emotional learning are made a priority here, and so that's something that I'm really excited about.
Thank you. All right. Going down the line. Another GVSU. All right, Miss Amanda Halpin. She is teaching 3rd grade for us. I forgot, Emma's teaching 5th grade. I don't think I said that. Amanda is teaching 3rd grade for us. She's had 6 years of teaching experience prior to Sunset Lake. So we were really thrilled when she walked in to say that she was interested in the position here. One of the things that she has loved so far is working with the staff, but I'm going to let you speak a little bit more to that. Yeah. And a recent bride too, and a homeowner. She's had a lot too, like somebody else. New job, new house, new husband.
Just got married, yeah. Lots of new things. No, I think somebody already said this already, but when I went in for when I left my first interview, I was just really, really excited about it. I felt like I already knew everyone in the room, so I was so excited when I got the job offer and that it was for 3rd grade, because 3rd grade is definitely my favorite grade to teach. But besides that, I love the new, all the staff has been so great. Amy's been wonderful. Just if I ever have any questions, it's so easy to find someone with an answer that's willing to help. So, thanks.
Right, okay, keeping moving. All right, another wonderful position, our BK teacher, Jenny Johnson. We were able to grab Jenny with lots and lots of experience, and one of the things when I asked Jenny about, a point of pride for herself, and it's her commitment to the early childhood development and the whole child, and it is 100% evident every time I see Jenny. It doesn't matter what those little ones are doing. She is happy, singing, smiling, motivating, and so joining our BK team, because it's kind of difficult being the only BK teacher in a building. She's just done a great job working with our others, and she's going to be able to share. She has a family, and a very busy family at their ages. But she makes it seem seamless, and she works really hard, and she always has a good attitude. So I thank you so much, Jenny. So you can share about your favorite.
Well, I think you're all hearing a theme tonight about how great the staff and the community in Vicksburg are, and I just want to agree to that because everyone's been very supportive. We've got so many great resources, and everyone really has your back. So I've just been really thankful because it's been a busy start to a busy year, and it's nice to know that everyone's looking out for everyone else. So thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Mr. Paul Black, he's our 5th grade teacher, and I've lost track of the many years you had teaching. Seventh year teaching. He's had a different round. He's been in so many different ways, working with youth ministry and working with kids in different capacities. So it's been wonderful to have him in our 5th grade position. Paul, can you share quickly? I think I'm taking up too much time here. Quickly about your favorite.
So my favorite thing just in general about teaching too and working in Vicksburg is just being able to build into young people's lives and help develop them into young people. And then also just to reiterate, the staff and being able to just have that support around me and learning a new community and new schools and all of that kind of stuff, just being able to have that support and knowing that I can walk across the hall or just down the hall and have a question asked, and everybody is just willing to help out no matter what they're doing.
Thank you. All right. And our final one. All right, thank you. Michael Schimpf. He is not new to the area, but he's new to Sunset and teaching for Vicksburg, and I'm super excited that we were able to snatch Michael. This was our last down to the wire hire. The week actually, it was really down to the wire. So Michael did a great job coming in. His whole family came in when he was setting up his room and making bookshelves and all sorts of things. Michael teaches 4th grade for us, and he has a little one at home, and his wife is 2 doors down the hallway. So it's been, yeah. So Michael, one of your favorites.
So just, again, being able to come back to the community where I grew up in. I am a product of the community. I see a lot of you in this room that have contributed in my life, again, all the way from the top, all the way to the bottom. It really does make a difference when us as teachers get into these children's lives, no matter what. Again, I've been very blessed by the family that I have. I get to walk in their footsteps and in a lot of your footsteps that you have invested in this community. So I thank you for that. I thank everyone that's in this room for what they commit to this job, and it's just glad to be, I'm finally back in the community where I grew up in. So definitely feel blessed for this opportunity. Again, that was a crazy hire. Definitely felt led to be a part of this community.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah. All right, that does it for Sunset.
Well, thank you, Amy. We're going to turn it over to Mr. Barwagon and Toby's new staff.
So before I start, I want to commend Kevin and Steve and Gail and the board for keeping a commitment to keeping the class size down because this is the most hires we've had at Toby in a few years, and partly because we've experienced some growth out there. And so I just wanted to say thank you for that because that's really helped this year. And then I want to say that I promised the teachers that they didn't have to talk tonight. So there's going to be a trust building thing for me, and I'm going to keep that promise. So I'm going to start with, I am going to make them stand though. So if Sarah, if you could stand, I'll start with Sarah Wasson. Sarah was teaching down in Three Rivers, and she taught there for 4 years, and she graduated from Olivet Nazarene University. Any other Olivet people in the building? All right, there we go. All right, right here. Yep, that's where I graduated from. So Sarah is teaching first grade for us and doing a wonderful job. When asked what she likes most about the Vicksburg and Toby community is the warm and welcoming atmosphere that we have. And she's loved doing that. You look at me like you want to talk. Do you want to talk? No? Okay. Okay. So kind of a fun fact about Sarah, and we didn't know this when she was hired, but when I looked back at some of her things, I saw a name that I recognized, and her student teaching supervisor was my mom's teaching partner for 30 years down in Illinois. So it was kind of an interesting fact that we knew some of the same people. Didn't know that until after she was hired. So welcome, Sarah. Thank you. The next person is Brianna Hoff. Brianna could stand, please. Brianna is a graduate of Western Michigan University, and she's in her second year teaching, but first year teaching live students that you can actually interact with, right? Right. So kind of a neat thing. She taught all virtual last year in Lansing School District. When asked what she likes about Vicksburg and Toby community, she says, the thing I like most about teaching in Vicksburg is a welcoming environment. I feel comfortable asking others for help and asking questions when I'm not sure about something. When I ask for help, they are kind and willing to help me. So it's been nice, and I think that goes to that you're not teaching virtual anymore. So that's kind of a nice thing. One thing that I'd like to say about Brianna is we had her first interview virtual. And she was the only one that interviewed for the job virtually. Everybody else was in person. And you don't know this, so. But she was so impressive virtually how she developed a relationship with the people through the computer that we said we need to bring her in. And we brought her in, and from there it just took off. And she's doing a wonderful job for us. So Brianna Hall. The next person on my list is Tatum Odell. Tatum was hired as our PE teacher, and she goes between Indian Lake and Toby. She is a WMU grad, and she's been teaching for 22 years.
Yes.
Want to talk? No. Okay, good. All right. She's been teaching 22 years between Paramount Charter Academy and Comstock Elementary. Many of you in here probably know Tatum. She is a Vicksburg graduate and has lived in Vicksburg for a long time. In fact, when asked what she likes best about being hired here in Vicksburg, she said, "It's my hometown, teaching my family, friends, and neighborhood kids. It's my career dream." Fun things about Tatum is she is coached here in Vicksburg, and she's also a Toby parent. So she's a former Toby parent, so I've known Tatum for quite many more years than everybody else. So thank you, Tatum. Big round of applause for Tatum. Our last person here is our new second grade teacher, Chelsea Flickinger. Chelsea is a WMU grad, and this is her first year teaching. Kind of interesting thing about Chelsea is when I came to Toby, Chelsea was in third grade at Toby. So I've known Chelsea for quite a while too. One of the things that she said when asked about teaching in Vicksburg is it's so exciting to be teaching in the same school that I went to. which is kind of nice. In fact, when Chelsea interviewed, she said a lot of things about her experiences at Toby that have influenced her career. And just an amazing number of things that she said, you know, about how well the teachers did and everything she learned. And, you know, that was very impressive in the interview. And so we live in the age of fact checking, right? So I went back to her 5th grade yearbook, because in the 5th grade yearbook, we always look to see, you know, fond farewell memories and what's your favorite memory of Toby Elementary. Where did we go here? I lost it. So, Chelsea Flickinger, my favorite memory from Toby was when we got to go to the movie theater and see Ice Age 2, The Meltdown. So, that was great. But she also mentions that she remembers the Toby way and all those things she learned at Toby. So, big round of applause for Chelsea. So we've hired a great group, and they're doing a great job. And you know, it's probably the most important thing we do as principals is hire people. And we've really put the effort in here, and they're doing a great job. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. B. All right, last but not least, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Basalia and the new staff at Indian Lake Elementary.
Yes, hello. I was saying maybe they saved the best for last with Indian Lake. But, so one of the first things I got to do after being hired myself was start hiring my team. And I thought I had it all kind of squared away, but like many other administrators, we had some twists and turns. But I was so fortunate to partner with so many different administrators in the process. So I'm very thankful to all of you. And saw so many faces in the process, so it's good to see you all thriving wherever you landed. So one of my first hires was, we didn't have a BK last year, and so I knew my staff was really excited to bring BK back, our families were, and so I kind of set out to hire someone for BK. And Natalie Wagaman, why don't you go ahead and stand up? Natalie really stood out in our interview process, and we were so excited to bring her on. Natalie was working in Sturgis for GSRP at the time, and a graduate of Spring Arbor, and I had just heard so many great things about her. We were so excited to bring her on. She was eager to be a part of the Vicksburg community. And we did bring Natalie on, but into our first grade instead. So Natalie's actually working in our first grade classroom this year. And you know, one of the things that I just loved so much in Natalie's interview was just her perspective on the whole child. And so, yeah, we just love having you. Would you like to share some of your favorite things about Vicksburg?
So right off the bat in my interview, I connected with everybody. I was actually making jokes, and I actually made my dog's voice in my interview. And the fact that I could just be so ridiculously silly to me made me feel at home. And just the school's outlook on social emotional learning was a big heart of mine in general. And the fact that that kind of came full circle just made me realize, like, this is where I want to be, and it felt like home immediately.
Thank you, Natalie. So, yeah, give it up for Natalie. So then we had an opening in our BK, and I was fortunate for the last few years to work in Indian Lake and see Amy McCleachy rocking it out in GSRP. So when Amy said, hey, I think I'm interested in moving over to BK, I was very excited, but many other staff members were really excited about that too. Amy's an awesome educator, so good with those littles who have a hard time starting school and shedding some tears, you know, the first few days. And Amy's just calm and cool and always collected, and I have learned so much from her as well. And she is a parent of 2 Indian Lake students who bring a lot of joy to the school too. So Amy, do you want to share some of your favorite things?
I think it's the same things. Mostly, I wanted to say, though, that the students' families that I've gotten to work with are one of my favorite things. I feel like the families of our students are very supportive and thankful for what we do, and I really have felt that here in Vicksburg more than any other district that I've been in. And, of course, the staff in my building, I feel like they're my second home and my second family, and that's a really good feeling when I go into work every day, so.
Giving me a round. I'm going to skip over Tessa for a minute because I am also so thrilled to have Tatum in our building. She just commands that gym class or outdoors, wherever they are, and we have just been so thankful to have you. So thanks for coming aboard. Yeah.
It is awesome. And then finally, we have Tessa Rewa. So Tessa is a graduate of WMU, and she received her undergrad from WMU as well as her master's. When I saw Tessa's resume, I was very excited. She has such a depth of experience in special education, and I just thought this, she's going to bring a lot to Vicksburg Community Schools and Indian Lake in particular, and I was right about that. So we had some shuffling around with special ed this year and brought in a few new folks, and Tessa has just been so wonderful kind of leading that team, and really has such a sincere and generous heart toward all kids, and so yeah, it's been wonderful to work with Tessa. Tessa, do you want to share a couple of things?
So sorry if I'm loud. I really love the support. I know everyone is saying that, but the support from Sarah and the office staff and the itinerant staff, special ed can kind of be its own little island sometimes, so it's been I'm really happy with the move here because Vicksburg seems like a family. All the teachers and the staff have been so welcoming and supportive. It's been really nice. I kind of felt like a first-year teacher when the year began, but I feel like I'm right at home, and I'm so happy I'm here. And I also want to say that I am impressed with the focus of social-emotional learning, especially with the pandemic, and I feel like we're doing a good job. Vicksburg's doing a good job providing that for not only the students, but the staff as well, and so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, thanks again, everyone, for coming tonight, and thanks for everything you do. I'm going to skip. Do you have a few words before I continue with my report?
I just want to welcome you to the family. I enjoyed talking to several of you. Some of you I've known the families over the years. I think this is a great school system. I think this is a great community, and you're all going to be an absolute great asset to us. You already are. You've been here since the beginning part of the year. So I just want to thank you for choosing Vicksburg and coming here.
How about one more round of applause, please? All right, staff, if you can just hang tight for 1 second, I just got a couple quick things I got to cover, and then we'll take a little break, and then you're more than welcome to head out, or you can stay for the rest of the meeting. We'll leave that up to you. Just real quick, board, I wanted to just take a minute to discuss the future of the COVID-19 health and safety protocols here at Vicksburg Community Schools. As you're aware, the Kalamazoo County Health and Community Services Department is ending their current mask mandate at 5 p.m. this Friday, December 17th, the last day before holiday break. We're going to be sending out a school-wide communication to our community regarding our updated health and safety protocols within the coming days. Our community can expect that most likely around noon or just after on Wednesday. So that'll be Wednesday, the 15th. I want to take a minute to thank many of our community members for sharing their feelings on these issues. We appreciate all those who have taken the time to communicate with us. The feedback has been overwhelming, so we really appreciate that. Thank you, community. And again, our updated protocol will begin when students return to school following the winter break, and that will be Monday, January 3rd. Again, we thank you for your continued support and your patience as we release our updated plans on Wednesday. Also, one more item I'd like to discuss. I just wanted to take a minute to address the incidents that took place last week at the middle school and the high school. First of all, Vicksburg Community Schools is committed to being a safe and welcoming place for all students, staff, and families. We're also very committed to learning from the events that took place last week and finding a positive way forward. VCS has hired a third-party independent law firm to both investigate the incident that took place on our middle school playground on November 30th, and also to look into the climate at the school and reports of other potential bullying. Vicksburg Community Schools does not tolerate hate or bullying in any of our buildings. Our goal is to create safe spaces for our students to learn and grow and thrive. We are committed to seeing this investigation through, and we look forward to working with the investigator to provide all the information and materials they may need. Again, we want to thank the community for their patience while this investigation unfolds, and we will continue to keep you updated as we receive more information. Also in your packet, I did include the most recent school equity caucus. Not a lot going on in Lansing at this time, but there is some good information in there, and feel free to reach out if you have questions. And Mr. Morris pretty much covered our upcoming events, the 3 holiday concerts, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And just a reminder, our last day with our students is this Friday. Winter break will start officially on Monday, December 20th, and will run through the 31st. And Skip, that's my report, and I think we can probably take a quick recess.
Okay, we will take 5 minutes and let those that would like to go home, go home. Thank you all for taking the time to come.
If you want to.
And begin with the budget and finance report. Steve?
Okay, included in your board packet is the monthly budget progress report. This includes activity through the end of November, or the first 5 months of our fiscal year for 21-22. Keep my comments pretty brief, and then entertain any questions or comments from the board. Taking a look at the revenue, on a year-to-date basis, we've taken in just over $7 million. You can see the breakdown between local revenues, the majority of which is going to be property taxes. State revenue, we have 2 installments of our monthly state aid, a small amount of federal revenue, and then other at $716,000. The other revenue is going to include primarily programs that are where we cooperate with CARE-RESA. So there's going to be some enhancement millage. There will be special education, GSRP, EFE, EFA, those types of things. All right, on the expenditure side, instructional expenditures year-to-date, $4.64 million. Support services totaled $4.231 million. Other expenditures included athletics at $168,000, community services at $161,000, and interfund transfers of $2,889. So total expenditures year to date, $9,204,820, and you can see that compared to revenue year to date, that's a shortfall of about $2.2 million. That's a bigger shortfall than if you look at the same period last year, but it's pretty difficult to make those comparisons just with the changes in federal funding and that type of thing. As I look back at other years, at this point in the school year, it's not unusual for us to be short by about that much. It can depend on the timing of various expenditures, capital outlay, purchases of materials, large contracts, that type of thing. And I think that just kind of highlights the importance of maintaining an adequate fund balance, which this district has been able to do. Looking at page 2 of the report, this gives a different perspective on the expenditures. Again, it's the same $9.2 million in total expenditures, but it's broken down not by the functional area within the school district, but based on what we refer to as the object code, or what specifically did you spend the money on. Majority of our budget, like virtually all public K-12 schools, will go to salaries and benefits, and you can see that that's certainly the case here. We're at about 82.3% of the total general fund budget going for salaries and benefits. Year to date, that stands at $6,659,000. Below that, you can see the breakdown for purchase services, supplies, capital outlay, and other. Again, total expenditures, $9.2 million. Any questions on that? Okay, if not, then just want to give a quick update in the action item section of the agenda. We have a number of construction bids that we'd like to award, and these relate to mechanical upgrades that will take place at Indian Lake this summer. So majority of that will be for the HVAC upgrades, but there's also a lot of work that goes along with that. There's electrical work, there's masonry, a limited amount of flooring, acoustic ceiling tiles, upgraded LED lighting, and those types of things. So as you'll recall, I sent a memo to the board last week. We continue to see delays in the supply chain. And when you have a short construction season like schools do, and that season gets shorter every year, it seems, we wanted to make sure that we gave the notice to proceed to the various contractors so they could begin providing their submittals, begin the procurement process, and that type of thing. Some of the items that we're purchasing have, upwards of an 18 to 24 week lead time. So appreciate the flexibility to do that. In this case, all the bids are for the low bidders, and I think we have a good group of contractors. The total project award this evening is just under $2.4 million, so it's a significant amount of work, and we're anxious to see that get done this summer. Any questions?
Steve, that doesn't mean Indian Lake's the only place having work next summer, because Sunset's, they're completing their project again next summer too.
Absolutely.
And that was bid out when we started that project the previous summer, so the same contractors are coming in to do that second half of that project?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yep. The procurement is set on that. As far as I know we're storing a lot of unit vents and that type of thing securely. And yes, so those are not included in this evening's contract awards because those contracts have already been bid out. Frankly, it's based on what we're seeing in terms of prices. It's fortunate that we had that other half of the building bid out. We're seeing price increases really kind of across the board. I think we all kind of see that in our personal lives as well. We really see it when we're trying to get work done in the schools. So, but that's correct. Yep.
Is it about the same amount of work at Sunset? I mean, is it a 50-50 kind of proposition each summer, or is it a little less because they were?
I'd have to go back and really look at the floor plan, but I'm going to say I would say it's roughly half.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep. So,
Just curious, are they different contractors? Are they similar between last year's project? I'm just kind of curious with the labor forces and spreading things so thin. There's been some issues with getting people time to do the work.
yeah, that is correct. As I look through the list of contractors, there are a few mechanical contractors that we do work with on a pretty regular basis. Everybody on the list of bid awards this evening, they're contractors that we've worked with in the past.
They
Okay.
seem to be local. How far out do you go when you're looking for bids?
Well, I mean, by law, we advertise on the state website, so we'll get bids from, people across the state sometimes, but, there's also, if you're dealing with a company that operates exclusively in one region of the state, they're sometimes reluctant to try to take on those jobs just from a logistical challenge. But all of these contractors are pretty local. I can't say exactly where each of their offices are, but I know they all have a Southwest Michigan presence, and they are local, yeah. So, but, Dan, you're right, it's a big challenge just to, get the work done. Fortunately, and I've said it before, we have a really strong team with Frederick Construction and Tower Pinkster. And, in Frederick Construction, I think, a lot of people might not realize the scope of their business. It's, they're a large company, they're involved in a lot of things. And, we're very fortunate to have them here in Vicksburg and very fortunate to work with them. The service that they provide and the oversight is top notch. I mean, and so a lot of those, when issues start to come up where, we don't see crews on site like we expect or the number of workers, Frederick is very quick to jump in and intervene wherever necessary. But it's definitely, it's a challenge. Just like, we face in hiring and I think across the economy, you're seeing a lot of difficulty in filling labor. So, does that answer your question, Dan?
Yeah. It's just a lot of work, I know. At Sunset Lake, I'm sure some lessons learned about sequencing projects through, getting towards the end, coming in with those labor. I know there's a lot of work at the end just to get things tied together to get the schools open. So it's not a trivial task. I understand that. And so just curious. I know Frederick does a great job.
Okay. Stephanie?
I just didn't know if maybe I missed if there was a conversation in the past. Is there any talk about paving the middle school, that drop-off loop in the parking lot? Has that been a project that we've?
I know that's on a list of priorities. Off the
Okay.
top of my head, I can't tell you exactly where that is.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was something like we're gonna do or we're
Yeah.
hoping to do or. Okay.
Yeah. So I can, let me do some research and then try to get back to you with regard to timing.
It's really bumpy at drop-off.
Yeah, and it may not be as soon as we would like, but
Right.
I'll check on that for sure. All right. Other questions or comments?
We went too easy on you. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, no complaints, so, all right, thank you.
Okay, we'll go on to audience, and I would ask everybody to keep their comments to 3 minutes. We'll begin with DJ Colley. Oh, there you are.
Can you hear me?
There you go. Yep.
All right, so we'll start off with, my first comment is, that's Vicksburg. I'm going to circle back to that in about 3 minutes here. But I understand next month we're taking a look at board elections for officer spots. Is that correct? No? Yes? No? All right, it was rumored to me that, that there were some board position spots that you guys were going to be looking for officers. I would implore that the board take a look here to replace their current president, Skip Knowles. Currently, we're having some issues in the district, including hate crimes on the playground, right? Alleged hate crimes on the playground. A lot of that stems from some of the leadership that we see here from Skip, or the lack thereof, the lack of apathy towards towards the other teachers here. So I think it's time that we start to look towards a culture of acceptance here at Vicksburg, so we can get away from this mantra, so a lot of us can not have to deal with these comments of, well, I went to a performance last night at the school where you had a mandate, but people weren't wearing masks. And someone like me has to go, well, that's Vicksburg. Or when you have other people go, well, you know, there's hate crimes going on in your school. What's going on with that? And I'm to say, that's Vicksburg. It's time to change the narrative around here. Let's look to find some new blood in here so that way we can get that leadership. I happen to say I had a great meeting last month with Superintendent O'Neill and Assistant Superintendent Goss. You guys did a great job, and I really respect you guys meeting with me last month. But again, I think it's time that we look for some new blood here on the board. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Next person would be Garrett Kaltenbach.
Good evening. Thank you for the time. Similar light, in light of recent events, and I'd like to ask the district, what are we doing to help support our staff and make sure they're staying on top of their game so that things that have happened recently at other schools and within our own school are spotted quickly and dealt with appropriately. I understand we have a severe sub shortage. Teachers are not getting their prep periods to maintain their own classrooms. So as the employer, what are we doing, you guys doing, to make sure they're getting the support they need and getting the quality product, quality education to our students? So, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next would be Gabby Yost.
Okay, I'm just going to read you my paper. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Gabby Yost. I'm an 8th grader. And
Gabby, could you get just a little closer
Oh, yeah,
to the
sorry.
mic? Thanks, kiddo.
So I'm here on the account of the bullying and harassment I and my fellow peers have experienced at the middle school. And I brought this to you because I think something needs to be done because I have been emotionally affected by this and so have other people. So I will be speaking on behalf of me and some other students, multiple students at my school because they feel the same way as me. The hate I endure on a daily basis is sickening and hurtful. For example, on multiple occasions have I been told to kill myself or overdose on drugs. I've been called F-slurs. I have been told many times to F off, and no one gives two F's about me. As a student, as a 14-year-old, and as a human being, that hurts. I have also personally witnessed others get bullied for their race and for their sexuality. People in the halls will say whatever they are thinking and won't hesitate to do it, especially if it's degrading towards others. People hail Hitler, hate on others for the color of their skin, and say insulting, discriminating, rude comments nonstop. Many people, including myself, feel that we aren't being heard. One of my close friends, who has suffered from cancer in the past, has been labeled Cancel Girl. We have reported all these incidents multiple times and nothing has been done. We want to put a stop to the hate once and for all. We want to have equal acceptance for everybody. We want to feel welcome and safe at our school. And maybe that's a little too much to ask, but as a human being, I have a right to be treated with kindness. In closing, I have a small question to ask you in regards to the email sent on December 3rd. And I quote potential bullying, which you also said tonight. My question is, what is potential bullying? Is potential bullying pushing other students around here and there and calling them mean names once in a while? Was potential bullying calling people racial slurs constantly for the color of their skin, telling people to go kill themselves, and telling them that they almost caused a school shooting? Being emotionally hurt on a daily basis has had an effect on me and many other students. Crying myself to sleep most nights is not what I thought my 8th grade year was going to be like. But once again, I'll leave you to decide the difference between what potential bullying and real bullying is. Thank you.
Thank you. Dana, please sit down. Your turn will come. We have a Shelley Hall with a question mark. Would you like to address the board?
Yes, I was wondering, how are you going to keep the community informed about what the attorneys find about your progress about the bullying situation?
Yeah, once they start the investigation and we start gathering that information, we'll regularly communicate with the public.
And how?
It will be our general instant alert.
Okay, and then.
I'm sorry, is there a different way you'd like us to communicate that?
There's a lot of rumors going around.
Correct.
A lot of unrest in the community right now, primarily due to this incident. And getting the facts out as quickly and efficiently as possible is, I think, is going to be key to keeping this from blowing up even worse than what it has now.
I couldn't agree more.
And then also, is the attorneys that involved, are they outside the community so they can be unbiased?
That's correct.
In this situation?
Yep, Troon Law Firm out of Lansing.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Dana Ames?
Is that the school board's law firm? I'm sorry.
It is the school board's law firm, but it's pretty typical for outside legal counsel that works for the board to come in and conduct this kind of investigation. I would say we rely on them to be completely forthright and objective. I don't think that they have anything to gain by sugarcoating anything, so.
So also I would like to address, in the MLive article, it said that we don't allow children to wear political clothing in the schools. So would you consider camouflage political clothing? That could be political. It could go against vegans. It could go against anti-gun people. There's lots of things that could go either way. So a gay pride flag is not really political. Being gay is not political. It is a choice that you make. It is the way a person is. It is how you are. You wearing a suit is how you are. Me wearing burgundy is how I am. If I want to wear black all the time, that is how I am. That is not a political statement. And a child should not be judged for that, and should not be bullied, and should not be lynched for it, and should not be in a hate crime for that.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not done. Thank
Well,
you.
we've hit our 3 minutes. Dana Ames?
Record. I'm over the mask. I don't know how many of you are over the mask, but I'm definitely over the mask. Face coverings are not a control method.
Hey, please hold the mic to your mouth, then. Dana,
You can't
you're-
hear me?
You're moving it around, and when you move it around.
Okay, sorry about that.
Mhm.
Are not a control method for an aerosolized virus. Masks are not rated or capable of having proper seal. Literature actually states that masks cannot be sealed and do not meet any of the basic provisions of the Respiratory Protection Standard, 29 CFR 1910.134. In addition, they actually create a greater hazard and create rates of infection. It is highly negligent to view vaccines and/or face coverings as control methods, as neither fall on the hierarchy of safety and controls. Masks come in all types of materials and sizes, and not one single real-world randomized controlled trial with metadata analysis supports the data that a mask can stop the spread of COVID. So why everybody is wearing them, I do not know. And Kevin, this is the first time I've ever seen a mask on your face here at a board meeting. Why? Who are you trying to impress? The teachers here? You too, Skip. Trying to impress teachers? You never wore a mask until today. My 3 minutes. It is important to note that all mask studies to date that claim masks work to slow or stop the spread of COVID-19 have been conducted in a laboratory under various conditions, but all place the mask on a mannequin. All models or been conducted in a laboratory under various conditions, but I'll place the mask on a mannequin or fixture that is perfectly sealed. In the real world, gaps always exist between the mask and the skin. Masks that seal are called respirators. Literature shows that real masks with gaps, areas of 2% of the mask area with low effectiveness to start with, have reduced effectiveness to 75% and 3% gap area. Quit with the mask. They better not come back in January 3rd, or I guarantee I will start protesting with the kids in school. They will not be wearing masks. What are you going to do if all the kids show up in school and they don't have masks on? What are you going to do, suspend them all, expel them all? I don't think so. You need them sitting in the seats here at Vicksburg, because if they don't sit in the seats at Vicksburg, you don't get funding. You can't pay your teachers. You won't get paid, and you won't get paid either, Keevan. So you need to take the mask off our kids. It's ridiculous. It's ignorant. Everyone wearing a mask is ignorant. Plain and simple.
Dana, we're not going to have personal attacks. Finish.
It's still ignorant. Excuse me?
I called you misinformation. Go sit down.
Oh, kiss my royal butt.
Okay, you're done, Dana.
Perhaps you should tell your surgeon the next time that
He wears it
masks
so he
don't
doesn't
work.
get splashed in the face.
No,
with
he does
blood and
not.
blood. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. I'm educated.
Well, yeah, so am I.
Okay, our next person is Bryn. Dana, you're done. You're done.
Please.
Hello. Oh my goodness. Let me fix that. Okay. I just wanted to say before I start on why I came, I just wanted to piggyback off of what Mr. B said. It was so, I wanted to start clapping afterwards, but I am so thankful to the board for allowing, when a school has a higher enrollment, to let them hire more teachers so the class sizes stay small. That's so important for the kids, not just academically, but socially. So I just want to say, again, thank you so much for doing that. It really means a lot to us parents. So good evening, Superintendent O'Neill and board. This year has been our family's first year in Vicksburg Community Schools. We had previously homeschooled for many years. My children attend Toby, and we have been blessed by their teachers and the administration there. We live in Portage, but purposely chose to do school of choice to Vicksburg because of the individuality, community, and parental involvement that's often present in small schools. I am here tonight to voice my support of parental choice as the health department's mask mandate expires December 17th. I am not here to argue the effectiveness or lack of effectiveness of masks. We all know that there are many studies that support both sides, but I am here to fight for parental choice. I was disappointed when I learned in the fall that I would not be allowed to choose whether my child would or would not be allowed to wear a mask. I was instead told what I had to do. I understand that Vicksburg felt they had to follow the mandate given by the health department for elementary students. I appreciated that Vicksburg did allow high school and middle school parents to choose, and also voiced that if it had not been for the mandate, they would have allowed for parental choice at the elementary level. I am asking that you please keep your word now, now that the mandate is expiring. Please allow the elementary parents the right to choose as you have the middle school and high school parents. All of these students now have access to the same layers of protection. Once the mandate expires, there's no reason why the different schools would have varying mask restrictions. No one cares about my kids more than me, and that's true for all parents. Parents and staff concerned about COVID have many choices and layers of protection available to them. They can get a vaccine, they can wear a mask, they can double mask, they can wear a face shield, they can teach behind plexiglass. However, elementary parents concerned about the potential long-term social, emotional, and physical effects of wearing a mask 7 hours a day, 5 days a week, have no choices available to them besides homeschooling or transferring to a different school that allows for parental choice. Please keep your word and follow the lead of the other small districts in our area and restore the rights of parents back to them. Thank you very much for your time and service.
Thank you. John Eiler?
So, 2 months ago, we heard kids can't get sick. Last month, we heard COVID was in line with the county. By the way, that very week and the week before that, Vicksburg was the highest in the county per capita by a large margin. Turns out that's really interesting. Every single school in the county that did not require masks was at the highest end of the chart. And consistently at the low end of the chart was Kalamazoo, Portage, and Comstock, all with universal masking, week after week after week after week. Interesting. So many times you have said we are not medical professionals, but yet you ignore all of the medical professions, from the American Pediatrics Academy to Bronson's Children's Hospital to DeVos Children's Hospital. The list is, I could go on for 20 minutes. It is, all the medical experts agree on this. All of the large, all of the associations, all of them agree masks reduce the spread, and reducing the spread keeps kids in school and healthy and learning. That's what we're here for, right? That's what everyone wants, is kids in seats. So let me cut to the chase here. You guys have repeatedly not followed your own rules. We've seen it from the board meeting last month. We've seen it to the Christmas shows. We've seen it on various pictures on Facebook of kids in elementary schools without masks. You're not enforcing the rules. It's pretty clear. When you don't enforce the rules that you get to create, what message does that send? That encourages bullies, right? I only have to obey a rule if I like the rule, right? That's not how it works, and that is counterproductive. And at the end, excuse me, it all comes back to leadership. We need real leadership, not do as I say, not as I do. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Kelly McDonald.
Hello, my name is Kelly McDonald. I am the president of the Vicksburg Education Association tonight, speaking on behalf of our teachers. To our amazing students who spoke up tonight, the courage it took is commendable. We are so proud of you. Thank you so much. I don't know how you got up here and did that. Thank you so very much. Your teachers hear you, they support you, they love you. And if you were here for the new teacher introduction, you're the reason we do this. We've been asking monthly if we can please find creative ways to help our sub shortage, whether that is increasing the daily rate, offering better bonuses, or finding more permanent building subs. Your students are telling you that they're having a really hard time right now. And given what just happened to 4 of their statewide peers in Oxford, it's no doubt that they need that support from every single staff member that we can offer it. We desperately want our interventionists, special education teachers, and especially our counselors to be able to meet with you at any time of day when you need it. And you have to know, students, that they are heartbroken every time that they have to cancel on you. Truly heartbroken. So please spend this holiday recess thinking about what we can do. Every time the teachers have asked, month after month, we're told, do you know anyone? I can't tell you how disappointing that answer is to hear over and over. We have brilliant, brilliant minds in our district. There has to be a better answer than, well, who do you know? Again, students, I just can't thank you enough for speaking up. If even one student feels unsafe or unwelcome, then we all have work to do. A future of empathy and tolerance is a goal that we should all strive for. Thank you so much for your time and for being here tonight, girls. You did a great job.
Thank you, Kelly. Okay, we'll go on to board action required. First is the approval of the regular board meeting minutes dated November 8th, 2021. We'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Tina.
Support.
Supported by Carol. Discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of general fund invoices totaling $412,366.44.
So moved.
Moved by Dan.
Support.
Supported by Jennifer. Discussion? Stephanie?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Tina?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
And yes, motion carries. Approval of purchase card disbursements for October 2021 totaling $92,507.96.
Move approval.
Moved by Tina,
Support.
supported by Carol. Discussion? Stephanie?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Tina?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
And yes, motion carries. Item 8 is approval to award the following construction contracts based on the results of bids received from Series 1, Release 38 on November 11, 2021. All projects to be funded with proceeds from the 2020 bond issue, and will take projects A through F with the board's permission.
I'll move approval.
Moved by Dave,
Support.
supported by Jennifer. Discussion?
I just want to say that I really appreciate, as a person who does not deal with building and those kinds of things that's out of my wheelhouse, to feel very comfortable with the process that you all have set up and the people that you have involved. And to be able to even do it, I think the foresight to structure the bonds the way they've been structured, I think was very wise. And I think it's wonderful that we can do these things. And I'll trust people like Dan, who knows more about business and projects, to look these things over. But I think we've got a wonderful process in place.
Thank you, Dave.
Absolutely.
Any other discussion? Stephanie?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Tina?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
And yes, motion carries. Second reading approval of Vicksburg Community Schools Policy 0100-6152-8310-8320.
I had a question. Sorry, my computer shut off, so I'm trying to pull it back off. So for the first one, the 100, the definitions, what was, when it said what other purposes was it referring to? Oops, I went too far. For the virtual, or is it virtual meetings for other purposes, like why people aren't present for them? I wasn't sure about the language. Sorry. Where's the red?
Let's wait about
Yeah, okay, so for voting, where it says in green, military duty or for any other purposes permitted by law, I was just curious, what were those?
That came up because we couldn't meet in person, I think.
Exactly.
And there
Okay,
was-
that's
there was
what I
new-
was wondering.
Yeah.
Those are the exceptions that would allow somebody, if you've got an illness or you're on military service, you can still participate virtually in a regular board meeting,
Okay,
but those would be the only two exceptions.
and then.
Other than a virtual, where the entire board's in virtual.
Okay, and then for the next one with the 6152, you've got the payment sections in green, and then underneath it, there was conversation in red crossed off about charging fees for homeless students. Was that, I couldn't find that in the original language, was that just a conversation, or?
That's the next.
Yeah,
That's the next.
yeah, the next one.
Yeah.
Am I not making, sorry.
You can review all policies on the website. The district website, you click on Board of Education, and then it'll say Policies, Administrative Guidelines. Yep. No, don't apologize.
So it's number 6152.
Is the McKinney-Vento Act no longer in force? Is that why it was taken out?
Yeah.
No, it's just updated language. That language was from 2004.
Okay,
And again, Neola, the attorneys, made that recommendation to cross that out and changed it with the green above.
okay,
Okay?
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sometimes those changes just bring us in keeping with what the current
Right.
legal. Okay, any other discussion? Stephanie?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Tina?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
And yes, motion carries. On that, we'll stand adjourned.